songs are so good. Music journalist John Robb is with us. Morning. So the news a lot of people were waiting for. How excited are you?
Well, I think everyone's excited. Not because you always get the haters as well, don't you? But generally, most people are really excited because it's a great pop moment, isn't it? They are a great rock and roll band. And it's great that we got pop music getting talked about, of this kind of type of pop music, talked about mainstream telly. It's great, isn't it?
And there's a sort of nostalgia about it as well. I mean, 30 years since that debut album, 15 years since they split. It was a different time. Just looking at some of those videos, it looks ancient, doesn't it? It reminds us of a different period.
But I think that's the power of it. I think nostalgia is a big part of pop culture, and that's kind of okay as well, because pop culture is old, isn't it, as well? And I think because they're such a generational defining band, a lot of people I was speaking to were a little younger than me. It's a big moment. This is a moment in their lives when everything felt possible. The Oasis song "Live Forever," which is such a fantastic title. Actually, it's quite, in 2 words, it's quite poetic. That the power of pop music to soundtrack a moment in your life when you were completely free. That for 30, 40, 50 years afterwards is always going to take you back to that moment, isn't it?
And John, in that little piece we just played, we saw Noel Gallagher, 2 little clips of Noel Gallagher. That was an interview that you have just done in the last few days with him. Did you get any insight at that point?
Well, the interview was done 8 weeks ago.
Oh, sorry, so
and it was posted last Thursday.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and when it was posted, people going, "Oh, this is very different. This seems like the way Noel was talking about Liam, the way he talked about the band."
Very nice about him.
Oh, very nice about him. And when I did the interview, I didn't want the kind of, the anger and the kind of Mickey taking that had been going on for years. I wanted the real Noel, and that is the real Noel. He's a really nice, sharp, intelligent guy, and you can see that in the interview. Now, watching it back, you think, "Oh God, it's really obvious, isn't it?" Now, watching what he's saying there, but he didn't just walk in and go, "Yeah, we're going to reform the band," because that wasn't part of the conversation at that point in time.
So we've got the dates. We know where the gigs will be. We know tickets go on sale on Saturday, 9 o'clock. Who will be buying those tickets?
A lot of people, I think.
So will they be the die-hard fans of, the 90s and the early noughties, or will there be a new generation? Because I was looking, they've got, millions of fans on Spotify, people who've only ever streamed their songs, never bought a CD or an album, people who were not around when they were at the height of their fame. There's a new market here, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, I think when you become a classic band, and very few bands get to that space, you just go through the generations. I think at the end of the day, the songs are so good, and obviously melodically really good, but they have an emotional clout as well that makes sense to somebody whether they're 12 or 70, and they're one of the few bands that have done that, slipped through the generations. You go to the gigs, even to this day, like Noel or Liam's gigs, and there's a big teenage, a lot of teenagers go to them as well. And I always say that's because Liam is a brilliant teenager, and his Twitter feed is a fantastic piece of teenage pop culture. The way he replies to people with no filter, which I think is great as well, because so many people in pop music are very careful about what they say. Yep. Both Noel and Liam have never been careful about what they say, which is part of the appeal, isn't it?
John, I'm sure lots of people who are watching this morning, they've got 2 big questions. One is, where are the gigs? 2 is, how do we get to go? So, there's quite a lot to choose from so far, maybe more to come, but we've got Cardiff, Manchester, London, Edinburgh, Dublin. They are travelling about, aren't they? All between the 4th of July up until the 17th of August currently. How on earth are people going to get their hands on these tickets?
Well, I think on Saturday when the tickets go up, it's just going to be basically a landslide. Everyone's just trying to get tickets all at once. But I'm sure there'll be other dates getting added on as this goes on.
Do you think so? Glastonbury, maybe?
Possibly. I think, Noel was at Glastonbury this year. I think Glastonbury would be great. But that's not a gig for the fans, is it? Glastonbury sells its own tickets to its own people. But the Saturday night Glastonbury Oasis headliner would be a classic gig, wouldn't it? But there'll be other stuff. Now, I can imagine this will go out to a world tour, wouldn't it?
One thing that really strikes me from the announcement that they've just made in the last 20 minutes or so is there's like a little poem in the middle of it where someone has written, "The guns have fallen silent, the stars have aligned, the great wait is over, come see," and then key, "It will not be televised."
Oh, that's an interesting little quote. Well, what about Glastonbury? Glastonbury.
Yeah, really?
I'm not sure if that means exactly what it says, though, does it?
Oh.
Yeah. I thought you were going to read those out in a sort of a Liam kind of voice. You know, you could sort of
yes.
create your own Oasis song live on TV as you go along.
I don't do a very good Liam impression, I don't think. No.
They do talk, though, about, you know, the hype and the kind of the excitement being built by that absence. And that's true, isn't it? I mean, the fact that we've not seen them on stage for so long together, the moment that they come together on that stage for the first time, those first concerts in Cardiff, aren't they? That'll be quite electric. That's before they even get here to a home crowd in Manchester.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it will be, of course, it'll be electric. That's a given. But like, the gap also adds to it as well. And it's perfect timing in it as well. I think to me, like Noel Gallagher is a brilliant pop music. He understands how it works. You know, you have to do things exactly the right time, in the right way. And that's what it is. And doing it last year or the year before would be too early. Doing it next year would be too late. This is the moment.
The cash will probably help, though, right? The paper's suggesting 400 million quid at stake here.
Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it? People do get paid a lot of money at the top, don't they? That's kind of how it works, isn't it? Yeah. But I think obviously the money will be a factor in reforming, but I don't think it's purely for the money. I think if you've got something that's really magical and there's a chemical to it, you know, a chemistry to it, like those two brothers playing together in a room, is a powerful thing. And for them as well, not just for people watching it, but for them to be back together with whatever the lineup of the band is and who's actually in the band, Noel and Liam playing together in a space would be really exciting, just like they were all those years ago back at Manchester Boardwalk when they rehearsed. It did sound pretty amazing even then.
John, great to see you. Thank you so much. I'm sure we will talk again. There's also that little bit of jeopardy, isn't there, about whether or not they're going to get on.
Yeah, because there's a long...
Stay friends.
There's a long way until those first dates next year.
The volatile nature of their relationship is part of the excitement, isn't it?
I wonder if we'll hear rumours of rehearsals and things like that before they kick off next.
I'm sure they rehearse at least once.
Yeah. Who knows? John, thanks. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. It's 26 minutes past 8.